fighting out of Venice, California, and weighing in tonight 117 and 1/2 pounds. He has a professional record of 42 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw, with 32 big wins by way of knockout, and he is the NABF Bantamweight champion, ladies and gentlemen, Frankie Duarte.
Frankie Duarte grew up in the neighborhood of Mar Vista in California, one of 4 children. His father was a barber, his mother a homemaker. He used to sit with his dad and watch the local matches from the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, idolizing fighters like Mando Ramos and Ruben Navarro. After the fights were over, he'd go into his room and pretend he was a champion, getting knocked down, but then back up to win. He would dream about fighting at the Olympic Auditorium, dreaming about the blood and glory. While he came from a nice family, he fell in with the wrong crowd. Hanging out with Latino gangs, he began drinking and sniffing glue at the age of 13. His desperate father offered to get him into a boxing program if he stayed clean. At the age of 15, Duarte would ride the bus daily to the Teamsters Boys Club, where he would be trained by Luis Huargui, best known for coaching Armando Muniz to the Olympics. Huargui deemed Duarte to be a natural, and he would guide him to win numerous Golden Glove and Diamond Belt titles. But boxing didn't curtail Duarte's drinking or drug use. He became a discipline problem at school, attending 4 different junior highs and 2 different high schools before dropping out in the 10th grade.
Most kids were out playing baseball, getting into athletics. We had nothing better to do than to hang out in alleyways like this and sniff glue. We advanced to the downers like Reds. Eventually, by the time we're 22 years old, doing heroin.
Duarte wanted to hang out with his friends, promising himself that when he turned professional, he would quit the drinking and the drugs. Duarte would make his pro debut in August of 1973. His original trainer, Luis Huargui, would spend his time exclusively with Muniz, who was now a top contender. Duarte would then be trained and managed by John Cabrera, someone that he didn't consider to be a proper coach. Duarte stated that he was fighting with the instructions that Huargui taught him and ran his record to 16-0 with 14 knockouts. He was nicknamed El Güero, or Paleface. Los Angeles Times writer Jim Murray reported that Duarte had, quote, a dazzling left and his right came in like a falling safe. But Duarte's toughest battles remained outside the ring, as he exchanged his boxing gloves for a drink in one hand and a cigarette in the other. I was my own worst enemy, Duarte said. A follower, a loser. I didn't believe in myself. I had a bad attitude. I just wanted to get my fights over so I could party. I didn't care. I just wanted to be with the guys. Duarte was amazed that he did as well as he did, considering how he was abusing his body. I had natural ability, Duarte said, and I was willing to fight to the death. I just had a burning desire to win. That I did win, it surely wasn't because I trained. Duarte would reel off 10 wins after splitting a pair of decisions with Famosito Gomez. Losing wasn't working, Duarte said. I had to get back to winning. But the winning turned to partying, and by the time he met Alberto Davila in a high-stakes crossroads match, Duarte's partying ways had seemed irreversible. He ran only 2 miles 3 times a week and was 4 pounds over the weight limit on the eve of the fight. He took diuretics in order to make the weight and entered the fight in a drained state, having spent the weeks prior binging on beer and PCP.
Judges, Marty Dink and Bobby Rings, referee Rudy Jordan. Rudy, by the way, left hook, yes indeed it is a knockdown. A left hook flat on the chin, and you know, all you have to do is put one glove, even one glove down to that deck to try to keep yourself up. And Duarte put at least one glove on the deck. That is a good call. It was a good left hook to the chin. And Duarte is not hurt, however. It was what they call a flash knockdown. It was a clean knockdown, but he's not in any danger right now. the face and a right cross to the chin by Alberto Davila. No question, Davila's hands much faster than Duarte's. Yet Davila really has not hurt Duarte to the extent of you think he may knock him out. Right cross, he's hurt now. 1 minute left. 59-58. For the first time in the fight, a right cross to the chin by Alberto Davila did it. Frankie Duarte is really hurt now. Let's see if Rudy Jordan lets it continue. He does. 45, 44, 43. Duarte should hang on. Let's see. Oh, they're going to give Duarte the chance. 34, 33, 32, 31 seconds left in the fifth round. He's down twice. Will Rudy Jordan let it continue? He says, let's go. Duarte should hang on. 20 seconds. 15. It's all over.
Duarte thought he could replicate the success of the hard-partying Mando Ramos, but he couldn't. "I was so down on myself," Duarte said after the fight. "It was humiliating. I heard a lot of embarrassing things. There had been a story before the fight. Win or lose, Duarte will party. As I was leaving the ring, I heard someone yell, 'Are you going to party, Frankie?' Duarte would then go home and enter seclusion, comforting himself with booze. He took a 7-month layoff from the ring, hitting bars and discos. He began using heroin but was haunted by his past. No matter how successful I was," Duarte said, "when I was outside of boxing, I was afraid to talk to people. Would they think I was stupid? I'd rather be back in the barrio, partying with the homeboys." In February of 1979, he lost his driver's license, getting into an accident that caused a 5-car chain reaction. Drunk, he would leave the scene with his excuse being, quote, "I didn't think anybody would notice."
He was out. Nobody could sleep because we were wondering if they were going to call us from jail. He's in jail again, or, go pick him up at 2 in the morning at the Venice jail. He's drunk driving, and, we were worried, pretty much about him.
It's really sad that I wasted so much time.
Duarte would let his contract with Cabrera elapse, and he signed with trainer Harry Shapiro. A few wins followed before he went to Honolulu to face future junior lightweight champion Rolando Navarrete. But before the bout, Duarte binged on booze, heroin, and acid. Navarrete would shut him out over 10 rounds. The loss would devastate Duarte, and he would leave the ring for 2 years, partying nonstop. He would take another payday in Honolulu, lose the fight, then enter another 3 years of addiction. His life goal was, quote, "to get bombed as quickly as possible. They say you can't get drunk on beer, but you can if you go at it with 2 hands." The desire and determination was now lost in an alcohol and drug-induced haze. But Duarte began noticing how quickly he was being forgotten. He was no longer being stopped on the street by people who recognized him as a boxer. He started a pool cleaning business, but his heart wasn't into it, and he admitted that he didn't always show up for jobs. He then got a job repairing luggage in a factory, but he was just drifting. He enrolled at a welding school and was surprised that when at the class first roll call, nobody stirred at the mention of his name. "Not a soul knew who I was anymore," Duarte said. A couple of weeks before he was going to test for the welder certificate, Duarte backed out of the program, realizing that if he went through with it, he would never go back into the ring. That's when it hit him. His identity was that of a fighter. He could not pass a mirror or a plate glass window without throwing some jabs at his reflection. He overdosed on heroin in 1983. His fellow addicts tried to revive him by putting ice in his pockets, performing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and when that didn't work, they tried burning the bottom of his feet with cigarettes. Duarte would only regain consciousness the next morning, as the scared addicts didn't bother calling an ambulance. But his low point came in 1984 when his mother kicked him out of the house. He went to live with an aunt and fell to his knees in prayer. He read the Bible. He quit all of his habits cold turkey. No more smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. No more booze. He wanted a new life. He wanted a white picket fence and a family. He even went so far as to get plastic surgery on his nose. I never got married, Duarte said. I'm kind of shy, but I thought maybe if I got my nose fixed, I might get to have a family. He began going to the fights again, clenching his fists ringside as he listened to the crowd cheer fighters that were his inferior. He started working out, trying to build his body back up. He was clean and sober, but he had aged. A comeback seemed out of the question. The theory in boxing circles at the time was that no fighter over the age of 30 could come back after being out of the ring for 5 years. But his friend, a therapist and chiropractor named Dr. Raul Marco, convinced him otherwise. He introduced him to the Goosen brothers. I never saw him fight, trainer Joe Goosen said, but I knew the name. I told him his reputation preceded him, and it would be an honor to work with him. About a half hour into Duarte's first day back in the gym, things were not clicking. He was real rusty, Joe Goosen said. Duarte was recovering from a broken ankle and had broken 3 ribs in a car accident. He now weighed close to 140 pounds, over 22 pounds over his prime fighting weight. Over the course of training, Duarte developed shin splints, pain in his ankle, pain in his Achilles, but he gritted his teeth and worked his way back into shape.
A friend of mine asked me to do a job to weld something for him on his truck. He happened to be the connection. I went to the house, did the welding job for him. After I was done with the welding job, he told me, here, either you can have $25 or you could have a spoon, of heroin. And right there, I knew that it was going to be one or the other. Either my comeback was going to be successful or I was going to go right back to the bottom. I took the money. I said, I'll take the money. I stuck my chest out. I felt real good about myself.
He returned to the ring in May of 1984. Working with the Goosens gave him a new lease on life. He started getting pats on the back in the gym. He was liked and respected again. The crowds, showing up at his fights, began chanting his name. Frankie, Frankie. 2 years later, Duarte found himself in the Stroh's Bantamweight Tournament final, facing the undefeated Jesus Salud to compete for a $50,000 prize. The upset win would get him a title shot. The story was unfolding like an inspirational movie.
Duarte, through the first 3 rounds, about dead even, perhaps an edge in his favor for the challenger as he has pressed the attack as he is doing now.
Tim, the knock on Duarte has always been that he gets insulted if you miss him with a punch. If you throw the punch, he's going to be there to collect it.
Terrific exchange here with both fighters landing in this final 30 seconds of round number 4. 3 points have been taken away from the champion Pinango to this point. A big right by Duarte and a solid right.
Looked like Pinango was going down from that right hand, Tim. He got nailed.
Minute and a half remaining in the 10th round. Duarte sensing he may have the champion hurt. He can be very elusive, Pinango, when he's hurt, though. Keeps his feet moving, good bobbing and weaving, and you see Duarte trying to find a clear path to the target.
Pinango was what you call an awkwardly cute guy, Tim.
At the forearm to their feet.
Another right hand by Duarte, another good left hook.
Their hero keeps the pressure on Pinango. By our standard of measurement, this has been a big round for the challenger. And another right by Duarte. His career and this comeback to a movie script, and certainly Duarte living up to that kind of drama. Now Pinango finishing well here in the 10th round, but Duarte keeps coming forward. 32-year-old Frankie Duarte, the hometown favorite here in Los Angeles. And there goes a big right hand sending Pinango to the canvas. Solid combination, the right hand sending him down, and even though he's up quickly, he looks a little wobbly.
Then that was a clean right hand right on the button. Knocked Pinango down and brought the crowd to its feet.
So now the challenger with 3 points in his favor and a knockdown here in the 12th round. And this crowd sensing that The challenger is on the threshold of winning the title and writing a happy ending to this improbable movie script.
He's a survivor. But surviving doesn't win your fights.
Both exchange solid right hands, and Duarte getting the better of it.
Punches are so much more effective than Pinango's.
The forum crowd certainly thinks that they are about to see a happy ending to this improbable story. 32-year-old challenger coming back from a battle with booze and drugs, and in the last 3 years rolling up a 9-1-1 record to get this title opportunity. A big left hand by the champion, but a right hand back from the challenger right there. Toe-to-toe in the middle of the ring. Duarte has not backed up at any point in this bout. Credit to Pinango for holding up against the onslaught, and there's the end of the fight. What a battle.
Well, despite the presence of a Rocky star Sylvester Stallone at ringside, the script did not have a happy ending. Duarte losing a unanimous decision. The Argentinian judge scored it a 5-point victory for Pinango, one we still don't understand. And let's hope that Frankie Duarte, even at age 32, gets another shot.
Duarte felt that he was robbed. He was in tears after the decision was announced. When asked what he would do next, he could only reply, "I don't know, I don't know." 4 months later, Duarte would take on Alberto Davila in a rematch which would take place exactly 10 years after their first encounter. Duarte initially didn't want to take the fight as the loss to Pinango devastated him, but the money and attention was too much to refuse.
10 years later, the result of the first time around, the 5th round TKO scored by Davila. Right hand by Duarte, snapping back the head of Davila. Down goes Duarte, flash knockdown. Duarte up immediately, indicating he's all right. Had never been off his feet in his career except for the fight against Davila 10 years ago, and it's Davila who sends him down this time.
There's the same punch, Tim. Same punch. It's between a hook and a jab.
Davila pressing the issue here in round 4. And another left lands. Davila fighting like an artist to this point.
Like a little machine, Tim. Duarte is in trouble right now, Tim.
He is, and he's having trouble finding Davila at all.
Davila can't miss him. Look at those combinations. When you get these naval hook brawls, Tim, the guys just won't fall down. Good right hand by Duarte, Tim. That hurt Davila. There's that big right hand.
That's his best hope. Now trying to force it. Duarte backing up Davila for the first time. Good left by Davila.
Set it up with that right hand to the body, Tim.
We have it 4 rounds to 3 for Davila.
What Albert is doing now, he's trying to protect the cut, and I don't think that's what he should be doing. He should let it all hang out now and try to get Duarte out of there.
From an accidental butt in the last round, round number 7, and it's been like this all the way if you just joined us. Duarte and Davila, an all-out war. Right hand by Davila lands. Since then, Duarte has rallied. A solid combination by Davila. Duarte stays right there.
What a chin he has, Tim.
Right hand by Davila. And punches inside by Davila, scoring another right hand. Final seconds of the 8th round. Davila pouring it on, but Duarte battles back.
But believe me, both of these guys still have enough left to knock the other guy down. They're throwing punches with a lot of snap. Every time Duarte gets hit, he comes back stronger.
Under a minute to go. Round 10. And time is called by the referee. Looks like they're going to stop it. They're going to stop it. It is a technical knockout for Frankie Duarte in the
Richard Hoffer of the LA Times wrote, "They took fans to a far more distant era, when sluggers plied their awful trade in the middle of the ring in a growing pool of blood and sweat, unmindful of personal safety or disfigurement. They inspired phrases like toe-to-toe and crimson mask." Duarte would be named the Ring Magazine's Comeback Fighter of the Year, but his heart was no longer in the sport. Needing money to pay delinquent taxes and to buy machinery to start a carpet cleaning business, Duarte returned to the ring a year later. He had enough name recognition now to land another title shot, this time against junior featherweight champion Daniel Zaragoza. The bout would be a lopsided win for Zaragoza. Duarte would take more punches than he cared to remember, admitting now that he was too old for the sport. And he turned back to alcohol and drugs. "I'm an addict and an alcoholic," Duarte said. "When you go back big." The relapse lasted until Duarte got into an Alcoholics Anonymous program. He was then hired to be the boxing trainer in Huntington Park, part of a youth program run by the city, and Duarte agreed to the random drug and alcohol testing. He also attended barber college and became a barber like his father. "Guys who get old, the first place they get old is in their minds," Duarte said. "In my heart, I'm still young. Life is what you make it." Duarte would eventually marry and become the father of 2 boys. Steve Springer of the LA Times wrote that Frankie Duarte won his biggest fight, winning the title of reformed drug addict. But it's a title worth talking about. There's always somebody out there who missed the message.